Just taking me down memory lane to what I consider to be a traumatic memory. And I hope this woman, whose name I cannot remember, what was a teacher in my primary school, is living her best life with the time she stole from me.
You know, internet
So,
cafe. There's only
yeah.
one internet cafe back in our town then that I know of anyway that was fully functioning properly. It was by this hotel or wherever it is. And when we go there, mommy, everybody will carry us. You know, you have to wear proper dress. You can't just be embarrassing people everywhere also. Just to do internet call. She
But
probably told you that she probably told you your time was up because she doesn't know what to do herself. It's like,
that's
how did
true.
you mess up your own name?
my first crush, my first crush was his daughter, right? Because
Oh,
she was based in the UK, so she only used to come home during Christmas, and then they used to hide her.
Of course.
there are some
Of
things,
course.
you know what, yeah? I am very supportive of science, but there are things where I'm like, you can make it, but I am okay. Like,
You know
I'm
what? You
okay.
know what? That sounds like Mark of the Beast. Like,
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
hello, everyone.
Hello.
How's it going? What are you guys
I'm
up
good.
Good.
to?
How was your trip to SA?
It was nice. It was actually nice, but it was too short. Obviously because I couldn't stay longer. But it was good.
Did
I
you see
had a
Bella?
spa day. Yeah, I went to see Biola. I saw Biola and Tola. I spent like almost the whole afternoon
Oh,
with both of them.
that's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, we had fun. I
Um,
We
think we had a good time.
we checked out the VR headset, the Oculus.
Oh yeah,
It
oh, she brought it to town
was
yeah. I
yeah.
traveled with it because
and
I
you
was
took it to Joe.
Even though there's some discrimination, some some games are not in
yeah.
essay.
Yeah, like I have this game I use. It's called Supernatural Unreal Fitness, and it's like I do boxing workouts in it. So that was the primary reason I brought it with me. So I'll just keep up
Oh,
with my
I actually thought you were
workouts.
talking about the Apple one. Sorry, Oculus, the
Yeah, no,
Facebook one.
no, the Oculus, yeah. And then I wanted to show Biola and Tola, and we turned on Supernatural, and it said this is not available in your country.
Yeah, it's just racism because there's no reason why it shouldn't be available in Africa.
And
It's racism.
The Meta
The
Horizon
Meta
Worlds as
World,
well.
yeah,
It's
that was
racism.
not cool.
Because what is you know what is fine. It's fine. We're not
Yeah,
gonna. This is not the topic of our conversation.
I told Johan when I got back, and he was like, "Yeah, we're not moving to Africa because we don't have
Really,
Meta Worlds."
because of the workout. Because of workout. That
If
is
I was
really.
going to start a
Well,
campaign to spend winter in South Africa, it has just failed. It failed before it even got off the ground. Oh, all right. What are we talking about today? Ayo, take it away.
Um,
tech,
Yebo.
tech. We're talking about technology. It's the evolution of technology throughout our lifetime, and how it's quite interesting for me. Anyway, I'm going to start it. So, how I remember the first time my dad brought home a cell phone. Obviously, we've heard rumors of this stuff, right? And the first day they brought it home, we all saw it. I didn't even think they switched it on. They had to go put it on top of the shelf, on top of the cupboard in the room, like you know that wardrobe on top. That was where it lived for months. They didn't even switch it on.
Yeah, yeah, you're taking me
It was
back.
on
Eh? And
Nokia.
those phones had like
Oh,
the
I think
screens that
Sony
looked
Ericsson
like
or Nokia, one of the two.
calculators. Like they had those
Yes, yes,
calculator
and
screens.
it was
Yeah.
fragile. I'm
The
talking about. I'm
Nokia.
talking about. If you touch this stuff, if you have you heard that meme? Do not touch this. Do not cross this line. It's like that. Like growing up, if you touch it, you feel like you're going to disintegrate. Like, how dare you? This is what more than you. That was how it felt like when you brought home the cell phone, and now everybody has it. Even little babies have cell phones. My little sister can do things on her cell phone that my mom can't even dream about. Yes, yes.
Okay.
You see that little thing that they
No.
put on their hands? It's just what it is. Even
Yeah.
Okay.
like kids nowadays, I feel see them in church. Like because I am an usher, right, and I pretty much manage babies. Kids literally they will know where to go watch their favorite YouTube shows. They will know, and these kids are still on their mommy's breast, oh, and they know where to play games. That is something that I can't even dream of. But snake and ladders, it took me how many years of trusting my parents with their cell phone, but they gave me snake and ladders. Nonsense.
I think my
Yeah.
first encounter with technology in court will probably be maybe when I was 2, 3. So my dad was a video games kind of person. So
Mm.
Oh, that's
we
cool.
yeah, so we had this. It's an Atari with the cartridge, big cartridge like this that you have to fix into the game and all that. And so that was like my first time seeing blocks moving on the screen, and I'm like, "What's this?" And then yeah, so from that to now we have like the PlayStation 5 and the Oculus. It's from 4 bits or 2 bits
It's whole
to
different. You know,
it's
you've just
a
taken me down memory lane to what I consider to be a traumatic memory. And I hope this woman, whose name I cannot remember, but was a teacher in my primary school, is living her best life with the time she stole from me. So when I was younger, obviously, like computers were not a mainstream thing. So they brought a computer. I think someone donated a computer to my school. I was in primary school, and we all had an opportunity to go
That
to this
person must
computer.
have.
It was that time, when computers had like a blue screen in the background, and then there was always
yes,
like that
yes.
what's it called? Like a cursor that was always showing, like I don't know how to explain it, but you when you were
Mhm.
typing something, there was always
I
that thing that was, so we
It
all
was
went there, and they were like,
MS DOS basically.
yeah, and they were like, oh, for you to have your experience with a computer for the first time, you're going to type in your name. And that was what we were doing. We are all just literally making a list of our names.
It's so sad, eh?
So
But it's fine.
I was
It's
on the
fine.
queue. I was on the queue. I got there and I start typing my name. By the way, this is the first time we've all seen a keyboard live. Like obviously with typewriters, you've seen a typewriter. That's a different story. But like a
True.
computer keyboard was a different story. So I'm there and I'm
The
like, oh
computer
my
was a
God, I'm
different story
typing my
entirely.
name. I make one mistake and I
Eh?
hit. So I was like, "Oh, I need to hit backspace." So I was trying to ask her. I didn't know it was backspace. So I was trying to ask her, like, "Can I please erase this so I can continue?" She's like, "No, your time is up," and then pushed me away. Ma'am, ma'am, wherever you are, I hope those extra 30 seconds that you took from me, you've used it for something useful. Because seriously, but yeah, that was my
Hey,
first.
man.
That's my first memory with a computer, and
I
then
can't blame her, though. All you had to do was type your name out. How did you mess it up? Eh? With
No,
a
because
keyboard.
it's easy to mess up if you haven't learned how to type.
it
She
is.
was,
It
yeah.
is. It
Nah,
But it was
is
such a
just
big deal, even for the teachers back then, that, oh my God, a computer, which is
true.
why obviously she was doing that.
she
But
probably told you that she probably told you your time was up because she doesn't know what to do herself. She's like,
that's
how did
true.
you mess up your own name?
True.
He's like, what are
True.
you supposed to do?
True. She probably did not even know how to do
Imagine
that.
though, imagine somebody
Yeah.
bringing new tech to your school and you're supposed to usher students. All they taught you was how to put names and delete. Now
Because
somebody's like backspace.
yeah, like you know how like you kind of mentioned it now, Ayo, how like kids now because they are born in it, it's so
Mm,
second nature to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had to learn. So imagine how
Yeah.
it was for her, who probably she was probably mid to late 30s. Now they are bringing this box. She probably didn't know backspace.
dude,
She
She
probably
do you
knew
know how much her
type your name
principal
and press
has told
enter.
her? Do you know how much her principal has told her that if this thing breaks, you can't even pay with your salary? Because where are you buying the laptop from in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Or the
Laptop. That
computer?
was not a laptop. It was
No,
a
no, no.
desktop.
But you get the idea. Where are you buying the
Yeah.
computer from? Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You know,
times have really
this you are supposed
changed.
to try to give a poor woman headache. Omo, save her right.
Times have really changed. And now that when you mentioned cell phones, I also remembered my mom went to do her master's when I was in, I don't say I was in high school or primary school. I think I was in primary school, but she was gone for like a year. So it was just us and my dad. And for us to speak to my mom, we could only speak to her, I think, once every month or maybe once every couple of weeks. We had to
Yeah, I
go
remember.
to my auntie's office at First Bank in Marina because only corporate organizations had
Friends
phones. Like
had.
obviously you had the ring phone as well, but my aunt's office could take like the international calls and everything. So we had to literally
Yeah.
go there and it was always a big trip. right? Because it was like after school, my dad would pick us up, we get in the car, we drive to Marina. The time for the call is maybe like, I don't know, 3 p.m. So we would like walk around town, doing all kinds. Like my
Excursion.
dad, my dad would show us all the old buildings, and then we would go and get on the phone and be like, "Hi, mommy." It's just
Yeah.
very different. And now, if
So
I want to
yeah,
call her, I just
That,
call her on video.
your story
It's
actually reminds me of my. So my dad first of all moved to SA about 20 something years ago now. So me and my mom, we and my elder brother, Tola back then. This was before my younger sister was born. I think AB was still a baby back here. So we will go to this thing, internet cafe.
cafe,
There's only
yeah.
one internet cafe back in our town then that I know of anyway that was fully functioning properly. It was by this hotel or wherever it is. And we go there, mommy, everybody will carry us. You have to wear proper dress. You can't just be embarrassing people anywhere. Just to do internet call. We go there. It will be, I don't even know if we were texting or if we were calling. I can't tell how bad this was. All of this could have been, what they call it,
so
Gmail that we didn't know about, receive and receive. But the point here is that we will all
That's
go
crazy.
talk,
my
it,
my,
it
my
remind,
experience
talk to
my
your
experience was slightly better because I
Nah.
stayed growing up, stayed in a block of flats,
Mm.
right? And then the guy who was on, we were on the ground floor, then the flat on top of us, he had a phone, right? So
Mm.
we
Oh,
basically, the family everybody, in fact, not us, everybody in that whole big 4 flats used his phone number. So
wow.
they would call him, right? And then his daughter would come and then be like, "You have a call." And then the parents
Wow.
would go and pick up
Were you
the
guys paying
call.
him?
Inconvenience.
No, funny
No,
enough,
no,
no. At
that
least,
was just
okay,
neighborly.
you
It
know
was
what, to the
neighborly.
best of my knowledge, maybe there was an arrangement. But he was a nice man,
Mm,
to be fair. He seemed to enjoy
mm.
it. He seemed to like the fact
Of
that,
course.
like,
Of course,
he's the guy with the
that
phone.
guy is the
So,
chief of like, the day he decides to be
yeah.
angry, you can't even
Mhm.
piss him off.
That was funny cause yeah, his daughter
it's,
kicked. Anyway, let's not go into the that. But like, I think my first crush was his daughter, right? Because
Oh,
she, she was based in the UK, so she always used to come home during Christmas, and then they used to hide her.
of course. Would you hide if you had a daughter that was coming home during that time? Imagine would
No,
you hide her from
but
people like you?
I'm talking
Now
about
imagine she fall in love
I'm
and
talking
then she
about
got
4 years
pregnant.
old, 5 years old, right? Then
mm.
one
Okay,
day,
okay.
I think she saw me and my brother. Then she told her dad like she's bored, so he allowed us to play with her,
Oh, look
and
at that.
we.
It's like
It
someone
was
brought
so
out a
funny.
doll out of a box and gave it to you guys. Like, oh,
And
look.
the weird part of it is like teenage years when I was 12, 13, the only person she apparently remembered, because I think she came only once or twice, I think, once
Mm.
or twice, right? The only person she remembered was there's a Biola in, so her dad would be
Oh,
like, Kike still remembers you. Okay, her name was Kike. Kike still remembers you, blah, 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 blah. That was,
oh.
but yeah, he was the one with the phone. Then when we left that place, luckily, where we moved to, so we're staying in like Lutz, the staff quarters. So each
Mm,
apartment had a phone because they needed to call doctors, right? So for that
mm.
reason, every apartment had a phone. And my mom had a deal with the exchange guys, right? That, because another thing again, you couldn't just call international or call people. You have to
Yeah,
call the exchange. You call the exchange then connects you, and then that's where the whole
yeah.
payment thing. But the person at the exchange was a friend to my mom. So we didn't have to pay. So we kind of had to, we
Okay.
could call. And that was a nice experience. We had that phone. We had that phone even when cell phones came. We just had it in the corner in the house. It was just there.
Yeah.
And then kids would come and be like, what is this?
What was your first cell phone?
My first cell phone was
Whoa.
a Sagem.
Mine.
Sagem. I know if I think I remember, but it was a Sagem. It was a color.
I
It
think
was a color phone. It was
Mm.
color. You could save 5 songs on it. It had the memory to save 5 songs.
okay. My phone that I was officially mine because I had like passed down phones, but like the one that was officially mine was a Samsung E250. You remember those ones? the ones that you can flip up.
Oh yeah.
It
And
was so nice.
how old were you guys when you
Every
got your first
I was
phones?
already in high school. I was already in high school by this time. But the
Um,
thing that was special, before be patient, let me finish my story. Was they stole my phone. Yo, it was so sad. And it was at a school rally. It was like a school event, right?
Yeah.
And I had it here, top pocket.
So that
And
people can
got
know
home.
you've got a phone.
No, everybody had a phone then. That's not the problem. The problem was by the time I don't remember my phone was taken until I got home. Now I was searching for searching for.
yeah,
Oh
you know what?
wow.
I
This
think I
so
had
so
I,
thi-
I
thi-
had
so
other
this
phones
is.
before.
I think
That one
let's
was the
ask
one I
this.
remembered.
This is the question I want to ask. If it has happened to you, so like, what was your first phone, right? And then, how did you feel like the first time that what your first time, if your phone has been stolen, how did that the first time it happened? How did you feel? I don't know if everyone's
Oh,
here's phone has been stolen or
no,
taken
my
from
phone
them,
has been stolen
but
before.
so for
I
me,
think I've had
right?
two very drastic experiences with phones. My first
So
phone, I remember I said Samsung E250. One of the best phones ever released by Samsung, by the way. That phone was awesome. No, honestly, for what it was, that phone was awesome.
I need
By
to
the way,
look
I'm not
up this
continue,
even kidding.
one.
continue. It's
This was
okay.
when Samsung was still trying to compete. This was before Samsung now became everybody's pride and joy. Remember there was Nokia and BBM ahead of Samsung. So this was a Korean company trying to survive in the world. So back then they were still doing innovative stuff. So this phone I used to use to play games. I used to use it to do. I remember we had Mexit back then. Ish guys, when we were trying to get girlfriend in high school. But back to the point, ne? When this phone got lost, now I did not even know it was lost. So that means when my parents asked me, that was when I actually knew it was lost. When I got home and they were starting the conversation, imagine what was I didn't even know what to tell them. All I just said that it was here, it was here, it was here. Hey, no, guys, it was very sad and it was very, very tragic. The other terrible one, the one that really pained me the most, wasn't even it. I got it. So there was this lady there. She was traveling to Dubai. So she asked everybody what phone did they want. I was trying to be extra special and different because I heard about Google created a phone. So I wanted Nexus. That phone was nice. Everybody else got Samsung or nonsense phones. My phone was the only one that was set. It was black. It was beautiful. It was separate. It was used to get. And oh, no, my phone was beautiful. My phone was special. I think I was the only one that had it in South Africa even. Until when I found that Bratoni also had it. That was the only person I ever found that had a Nokia. Not a Nokia, a
And
Nexus.
Nexus.
A Nexus. Guess what happened to my phone? I
Oh,
got off somebody's car on campus, right? And my phone fell out of my pocket and it hit the tiniest rock you could find, but it hit it in a very specific place. And the screen damaged. And that was it. I
you couldn't
couldn't
fix
control
this.
my phone anymore. And also, who fixes Netflix in South Africa?
That's
it
true.
was the
That was
only
before
next it
the
was the only Nexus phone, right? So
The
yeah.
same thing happened
Oh.
to Bratoya at the end of the day. Also, this screen damage, nobody could
apart from
fix it.
brother Tony who got a mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what was your
So, what
experience
was your
like?
experience?
Okay, to answer your question, I think your question was like, how old were you when
You
you got the first phone?
yeah.
No, there's your question and there's my question. First, I
Yeah.
was 16. That was the first time like I ever left home. So I just finished high school and then I was thrown into that's another story for another day. I was thrown to this village to go and do A levels, like a
You and
proper
I have
village where
lived
you
the same life. But yeah, go on.
proper village where you have to fetch water from a well and you in fact the well is so bad you have to fetch it at night when the moon is high. That's how I learned that like water rises when the moon, because
That
by
sounds like
day the
some
water has
witchcraft
gone
stuff.
down and the well is dry. Like anyway, that's when I got my first phone. Now to the
Wait, oh,
first time my phone
so you
was
didn't go to boarding house?
no, I was a day
I
student,
can see, I
so
see, I see,
I didn't go
I
to
see.
boarding house. So then the first time my phone was stolen, so I was in a Danfo. Danfo is public transport in Lagos, and I had earphones on, right, and I was listening to music, but I wasn't listening to music. If that makes any sense, like it was playing, but I wasn't listening. I was just thinking of stuff. So we get to, there are several bus stops to get to a bus stop, and then the bus, someone just comes off. He dropped the guy sitting beside me. He kind of nudged me. I hindsight, right? But he nudged me and then got off, right? And then the bus is going, and then maybe like a minute, it then dawned on me that I can't hear
The
my
music
music
has
anymore.
stopped.
And then I start shouting, ah!
Crazy.
And everybody in the bus is like, hey, sorry, Pele,
Oh.
hey, And the annoying part of that phone was, so this was the time in my life where I was a phone freak. So what I was doing was I get a phone, right? I had a phone. I would save money every 3 months, add money to the current phone I have and buy a new phone. And then
Okay.
after 3 months, so I had done this like maybe the third or fourth time. So I had upgraded. At that point, I was using a Nokia. I can't remember, but it was a Nokia, and it was supposedly it was like. So
Yeah,
for
the
me,
person
it
saw
was
it
like
too.
I had lost like it was the effort that I had put, not just the phone, but the effort that I had put into getting that
Upgrading.
phone. All the
Did you
four
upgrade
levels of
again?
upgrade
Did you upgrade
again.
again after
That
that?
not,
Now,
after
me,
that,
that, yeah,
that's
that will crush
that
your
was
spirits. You don't do that
that
again.
that like it wasn't as crazy as I was anymore. Like it really, like, honestly, I was down. Like which is
Heartbroken, yeah?
I was
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You know what? The word is heartbroken. I was actually heartbroken.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I've been there.
Oh.
We've been there. That
Yeah.
crisis did a number.
Yeah, my
so
first
Demi,
one
yeah.
was also when I was 16. I think actually not 16, I think 15. I was also going to do my A levels. I got a new phone. It never got stolen. It was one of those, it was a Nokia phone, but it was a very small one with like those calculate. It wasn't a thin calculator type screen. Do you know those Nokia phones you could compose music with the keyboard?
Oh,
Like it was
okay.
one of
No.
those where you could compose music on it to make your own ringtone and everything. So yeah, I had that. But the first time my phone was ever stolen was in Pretoria, which was years after. I was walking home past the flea market in the evening, and this one guy just showed up with a knife and was like, "Give me your phone." And I literally threw the phone at him, and that was the end.
Ah,
Yep, that
Well,
was the end.
ah.
I've never been, and I'm thanking God for this. I'm not taking credit for this, but I've never been robbed.
Oh,
Like robbed as
I've
in
been
like
mugged.
I
at
Yeah.
have, I
things have
have,
been
I
lost to.
have.
So maybe they took it while I wasn't aware, but I've never been held
Yeah, no,
up
I was
before.
mugged, but at least I wasn't injured. I remember one of our mutual friends, Biola, got mugged in Johannesburg. And next time I saw him, I was like, were you fighting with a cat? He had scratches all over his face, like scratches. So it turned out the person
It
was
was
really like,
resisting.
yeah. So the person just kept scratching him.
But
What's your favorite technology so far? Like, what's the one technology you can't live without, or what's the one that you feel like have changed your life the most?
Hmm.
honestly, I think that's an easy thing for my phone.
Yeah.
It's
For
my
me,
phone
still
now.
is the internet. As a whole, the internet is the most, for me, is the most impressive technology human beings have invented.
Mm.
There is
Okay,
so
fair
much
enough.
layer to the internet. Like at some point in time, I believe when human beings start learning to teleport, because teleportation is complex, but at some point it will be through the internet.
I'm
Essentially,
okay.
it will be because
We
it's
don't have
kind
to
of
do everything. That's how you start teleporting, and next thing it will leave one leg behind. There's no need. It's okay.
obviously we're not going to go first.
Let's
We're
be
not going to go first. We're going to go
satisfied
dogs.
with
The
what
same
we
way,
have.
the
Wait.
same
See,
way
you are
when people wanted
teleporting.
to
The
go
one
move to
the
the moon,
server will
they sent
crash.
dogs.
They
That's
will,
not
please,
That's not even the biggest question, though.
I beg.
Teleportation is not even, obviously that's not even the biggest question. Though. The biggest question is if if when you are teleported, right, are you the
Mhm.
same person when you reappear?
I don't
That's
want to
always the biggest
discover.
question.
I'm okay.
Be-
I'm fine
So,
with
Because
driving.
no,
there are
but
two forms of teleportation, right? It is the wormhole.
I-
That's the biggest question. The biggest question is if when you are teleported, right, are you the same person when you reappear in the
Ayo,
world, or the
Ayo, don't waste your
it's
disintegration
time. You
okay.
are
disintegration
not going
of
to convince
separation?
us on this episode that we should become fans of teleportation. So don't
No,
bother.
but I think you are right about how the internet. I think the internet has trans. I think the internet is what like really fast tracked things and how we moved
Everything.
from from floppy disk to now you don't even need a memory card thing anymore. Everything is now cloud storage. The internet has really
The
like now
internet is incredible.
you don't need to watch your movies with any in quote a physical device like it's stored somewhere. No, just have
We
internet and
literally live
like
on
it's
the
it's
internet.
changed. We are trained by the internet. We communicate with the internet. We
Your favorite tool, your favorite device, which is your cell phone, is because of the only
it's
reason why
because
you
of
like it
the
so much is because of the internet. Let us
it's
get at this
evolved.
one.
It's evolved because why is it the favorite device? Because your phone now is not just a means of communication anymore. It's
Yeah.
your. I think for me, my phone now is like my
It's
personal
you to the world.
assistant. It it
Your phone is your
it's
is you to
it
the world,
has
essentially.
it has the alarm. It has my alarms. It has my reminders. It has my memories. It has my every like
It
it's a
has your money.
personal. It's my personal assistant now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It has everything.
So the internet, truly, you are right. The internet is has sparked like the revolution that has just like moved from floppy disk to now.
I'm
If
Can
also a
I
firm
kids don't
believer.
even, yeah,
Go ahead.
Demi, please
Go ahead.
speak.
I was going to say, can I ask, to just take it a bit deeper, is there an app that is your favorite that has made your life easier? Like an app that you can't live without right now?
And I can't live without right now.
I think for me it's YouTube. And it's I know that sounds strange, right? But
Yeah, it
I
is.
think
Not
you know
really.
the
Not
other day
Huh?
I was
really.
thinking about
For him,
the
for
other day I
Ayo,
was thinking
for
about
Ayo,
YouTube.
no.
No. Hear me out, right? Hear me out. Hear me out. I think people underestimate YouTube as a whole. YouTube is incredible. There's nothing you want on YouTube you can't find. Nothing. There's literally nothing you want on YouTube you can't find. You can find movies on YouTube. You can find music on YouTube. You can learn on YouTube. You can find entertainment for of any age group. From whatever you are looking for, you can find on internet on YouTube. The
Hmm.
internet. Think of YouTube. You can find communities on YouTube. People talk. People converse on YouTube. There's whatever. What are we doing now? We are essentially putting this together to put it on YouTube, right? Whatever you're looking for, and YouTube isn't as what's what I'm looking for isn't as celebrated like Twitter or like your isn't loud like your Instagram.
Who is still celebrating Twitter, please? Who is that person?
Back when Twitter was Twitter, forget about it now. Back when Twitter was Twitter, okay, you don't have to shit on Twitter or what Twitter is now or what Twitter has become. But when Twitter was Twitter, Twitter was celebrated. But my thing is like there is you can you and the reason why this became a thing was because recently I needed to come up with something for someone. I needed to for my little sister. I needed to come up with like today, she was crying because she had a mathematical issue that she couldn't solve, right? And I was like, okay, I went on YouTube and I googled not Google, I searched for what she was looking for, and I could find the explanations behind it easily. And
Hmm.
she was struggling because she couldn't understand some of the teaching that she was learning from even YouTube itself. But the idea behind it, if you can't find one, there are multiple people with. You just have to pick your poison, whichever
Yeah.
one speaks to you. And the reason is, let's say you and ultimately what sets YouTube apart from the rest of it for me is that you don't have to pay for it. And I know that sounds weird, and I know that because there are other platforms you don't have to pay for. But I think the thing that really beautifies YouTube is because it is such an individual platform. There's so many creators on it who does so many things. Like recently, I the book that we read for the previous topic,
Oh yeah.
I that entirety of the book, I listened to it on YouTube. Somebody just uploaded it on YouTube. Recently, I've been one of my favorite light novels. I was trying to catch up on it, and somebody made videos. I've recently watched almost 100 episodes of just I've just whenever I am not doing anything in particular that I'm just have to listen to it. I find it on YouTube, and that's why I said for me it might not be the strongest in this particular field or whatever, but as a collective and what you can find there, what you can do there, and the fact that you don't have to pay for it whenever you are bored in the middle of the night and you can't find a movie to watch, YouTube will even give you collection of movies to watch. Like, okay, I'm bored. What is my favorite rom-com from this year? What is this? YouTube is impressive. For
We should
me,
send this video to Google so that they can see Ayo and
no, please don't do that.
and
They will just find more ways to
just take
advertise.
that shot of him saying YouTube is amazing and use it to advertise. But I agree with you that YouTube is awesome, and the reason I can live without YouTube, but during the pandemic, I was teaching a group of students who were preparing for university, and because we were in lockdown and all the classes were online, there was no time to meet with them in person to do revision classes, right? Like our schedule was a bit off. So what I did was I took the lessons that I had taught them, all the slides, and started to record them and turn them into YouTube videos. And for a long time, the channel where I created that was private. I just shared the link with the students, and they could go in there to revise. And it was the reason I found it helpful, and I think that they did as well, was that it's the same teacher. So they're not listening to 5,000 other people. They're like, I'm still listening to
Mm,
my teacher. It's still the same content that's relevant to me, not that there's content here and then there's additional bits that are not relevant. It's fixed. So for them, it was
yeah.
helpful. And I think for years after that, quite a lot of students were using that because I eventually made it public. So for
Oh,
that reason, I would say
I should
YouTube is
also add,
great.
you can literally get rich off YouTube also. I think that's also something I should do. I should
You know,
probably add
I
there.
don't know if that's 100% true. I think that a lot of people will get rich off YouTube. I don't know if we can call them. I mean, I don't think they count as outliers, but they're actually a small group. For
No, no.
example, on my YouTube channel, on the biology one, I have more than 20,000 subscribers,
Yes.
and the videos are there, and they're
She's
informative, and
like,
they're still relevant.
I haven't gotten rich yet. She's like,
No, but I'm saying that there are many people who make videos like me as well, who actually don't make that much money off YouTube. And then you have people who make certain kinds of content. I think for you to get rich off of YouTube, your content has to be something
Has to
that's very
be.
okay,
gripping,
let me
or
rephrase. Let me
should I say
rephrase.
like
Let me
controversial,
rephrase.
like things that grip people's attention, basically.
Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase. You can't get rich off YouTube, but you
Yeah.
can make a living off YouTube. And I think that's the difference. Because I remember
Okay.
there's this guy who does Arsenal content. He used to write for Goal, the magazine, the football magazine, and he quit. He said he wanted to dedicate his time towards his passion, which is Arsenal. He said they got him writing for other people. He's a journalist. He's a trained journalist who went to school for it. And the guy created a YouTube channel, and he started doing uploading. So he will make a 20-minute clip a day talking
Mm.
about whatever is going on throughout the course of the season, even during off season, signing, buying players, their match, whatever. And he has made a consistent living of this to the point where he's moving houses, he's taking his family on trip. He has, by the way, this is Arsenal, right? He has 100,000 subscribers. Not other people watch his videos every day, of course, but
Mm.
based on how many people watch his videos per day, based on the ad revenues, he doesn't even do sponsored adverts or nothing, which
It's a
is the
possibility, but it's not a given.
yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
given, but you can't make a living off YouTube. You can't,
Yeah.
and I think that's another thing I feel like you can't consistently do on as much as other platforms, and something that is free and for you to make money off YouTube is amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
YouTube should actually bring me up for me to advertise for them. Now that I'm actually thinking about it.
That's what I'm saying, though. You need to be advertising for YouTube. Yola, what's the app that you
Yeah,
can't live without?
I
you know, tell
guess
us what's up.
now it's WhatsApp. Honestly,
Mm.
the truth is it's
I can see
WhatsApp.
it.
Like
I can see it.
WhatsApp is how I make um a big chunk of my money
Mm.
by just like being like a middleman of some sort. And it's yeah, so and it's how I like converse with both clients and distributors and like so yeah,
Family and friends too.
if my WhatsApp
I feel like you should add that one.
should crash, right, and I can't communicate with people, it will hit me.
Significantly
That's the truth.
dampened. Yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah.
probably have
Yeah.
to start trying to find another alternative. But so I think WhatsApp is currently number one. Yeah.
Mm. Well, I mean, I don't know if I have a favorite app. So I don't know why I asked the question, to be honest. I don't
Wait, was the
like.
question favorite or the app that you can't do
You
without?
can't
Because
live
I
without.
wouldn't say what.
Yeah.
I want to say
It
WhatsApp
could
is
be
my
your
favorite
alarm.
though,
It could
but
be
I
your
can't do it.
alarm. You have to
Currently,
start
I
your
can't
alarm.
do without it. But it's not my. I would
Yeah,
not say it's my favorite.
I
I
don't
wouldn't say it's my
like so
favorite.
I don't use any apps in particular for work. So for me it's like yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
but then
but
if you
but
check
what
your own
app
phone, what is
is there? An
something you
app you
can't go
use
a whole
every
week
day?
without? It doesn't have to be something you do every day. It's not something like you ultimately can't live without. It could even be your cell phone as a whole, like maybe calls, whatever the
yeah,
thing,
obviously
email.
I have my
It
cell
could be
phone I can't
Gmail,
live without, but it's not an app. Like I'm trying to think of an app, maybe banking
whatever.
apps because obviously I get to do a lot on the go. So that's
So
Okay.
basically, your
Okay.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it has saved you from having to carry cash
Yeah,
everywhere
and
and
also going to the bank. So
or
being able to
having a
use
wallet.
yeah, you having an
oh,
online
did you guys
wallet
see that? Did you
is
guys see
good.
that when there was a blackout in Spain and Portugal and stuff like that, and now people need money, actual physical money, because it affected their banks and other devices, and they couldn't pay with their phones. It
Yep.
just goes to show how far the world come, where people didn't even have to think about money anymore. And then one blackout, it's like, oh, problems.
We need money. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's good to keep
So
a bit of cash at home.
this
Ultimately, right?
question
What
has
can
also
you live
brought up
without the most?
something for me.
Sorry.
What you just
Go,
said
go
now,
ahead.
Ayo. Like,
Yeah.
is there something that we thought maybe 10, 15 years ago that we would have by now and we don't have it yet? For me, what comes to mind? Okay, so there's of course flying cars, like regular flying cars, not one
Actually,
model,
by the way,
but for me, the
actually
number
about
one
that.
thing is like okay, so I remember this song. It's a T-Pain song. 5 o'clock in the morning, conversation got
Yeah,
boring,
I
and
remember that. Yeah,
in
yeah.
the music video there was this transparent phone, transparent, and the fact that we still don't have that now, like, like
Oh,
I know they are trying to add 5 cameras, 10 cameras at the back. Say it is 200 megapixel. Come on, guys, let us do a transparent phone.
okay.
What's going
Let
on?
me. I have an answer for you. I have an answer for you. I have two answers for you. First things first. When it comes to flying cars, we do have flying cars. That's not the reason why we don't have flying cars. The reason we don't have flying cars is because of air traffic. They like too many accidents already. Now you add a bunch of people with road rage in the air. They all die. So that's why we don't have flying cars. It's because of human beings. It's not because the technology is not there. It's because they don't trust you.
Yeah.
They're like on the ground, you're already dying. Now imagine in the air. Imagine
Yeah, that
cars
would be too
dropping.
chaotic.
So no, we will probably never have flying cars. It's not the technology for human beings. It's
Yeah.
because of our temperament. I think if AI and things have AIs and computers, then maybe that will become implemented. But as for human beings, probably not. Secondly, when it comes to transparent cell phones, you're never gonna get it. Ignore it. The reason is two reasons. There's the technology is there. Somebody made a transparent TV, so they can make transparent phones. It's just not practical, and it's also not what people want. Because people want, you know how. What is the thing that? What do you, okay, can I ask you a question? If you look at tech videos, and what do you think people usually emphasize the most every year? Is pictures.
Cameras,
People cares
cameras.
about, and for some reason, everybody care about pictures. Nobody
Yeah.
cares about how fast their
We
phone
are
is
all
anymore
becoming
because
content
to
creators.
exactly. But the idea behind it, we've already reached a pinnacle in terms of speed that nobody cares how fast your phone is anymore because for you, for the most part, your phone is fast enough. Your phone can do pretty much anything it wants it to do. But all people cares about is pictures. You imagine trying to put a big enough camera on a transparent phone. What where is no it's not gonna
It'll
work.
be on
So forget
glass.
about your phone.
Okay. The phone will
You have
be
a better
glass.
chance of getting a foldable phone than a transparent phone. And at the end of the day, you're not at the end of the day, I think the thing you're mostly gonna get is the neural link thing, where the phone is automatically going to go into your head. Yeah. And then you're
I'm
gonna be using
okay.
your eyes like
There are
cameras
some
and
things,
stuff.
you know what, yeah? I am very supportive of science, but there are things where I'm like, you can make it, but I am okay. Like,
You know
I'm
what? You
okay.
know what? That sounds like Mark of the Beast. Like,
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Like, have you noticed how our the future movies have changed? Back, if you're watching any 1970s, 1980s movies about the future, it's usually flying cars and some of the
Mm-hmm.
domestic, not domestic, some of like really really cool technologies. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, if you look
it's
at our
AI
future,
now. It's AI.
it's AI, but also
It's
is the way we
AI.
communicate. is always something connected to the human sense,
Oh
to the
yeah,
at back of the head and stuff like that, because that's
yeah.
ultimately where the technology is going.
I'm
Technology
okay.
like is
Ayo,
you
if wait,
you will
chill,
get it at the end of
chill,
the day.
wait, chill. No, no, chill. The thing is this: if we look at how in the 70s, right, it was the flying
Yes,
cars, and we eventually did not go in that direction. Hey,
yes.
we may not go in
But
that
there's a
direction.
reason for that. No, there is a reason why we didn't go in in that direction, because they didn't have a blueprint. That was imagination. That wasn't blueprint. They were not working off something. They were working off imagination. Right now, these people are working off, like, imagine the design back then. Why? How would those people didn't even think of social media? Like, there was no social media in any of those technology. Do you know how important the whole what they call it, the whole how people communicate with each other, cyberbullying, all of this stuff is, and how much time it takes, and how important that conversation is, and how social media, and how, like, there is this idea to be perfect, and how people create
Mm-hmm.
this false narrative of themselves.
Yeah.
None of those people in the 1980s were tackling that. The biggest tackling issue was, let's make technology like impressive, flying outside of the
Man,
world
I
with
think the main
really,
thing
really cool
then
tech.
was no. So the main thing then was eventually we will find aliens and they would either be friendly with us or want to kill us. That was their thing. That was like their
On that, I'm
worry.
also okay.
that was
I remember I
that
read
was
something from a book, right, recently. Somebody's like, first things first, right? If we're gonna, do you how many do people genuinely think that there are no aliens out there? Like, do you think that aliens haven't found us yet? Because they would have probably seen us and be like,
You
they
guys,
probably don't want to.
I think they also think we are aliens. So right now, as we're having this conversation, the aliens out there are also like there are aliens out there. So I am
Yes,
okay with us not trying to find anybody. I think everyone should mind their
we
business
are trying.
and stay
We are actively
in their
trying to find
lane.
them.
I'm
We are
okay.
actively trying to find them. Remember
I'm
that they
okay.
sent out a whole thing to space with with music and stuff. Didn't you guys
Yeah,
know?
I know. Yeah,
know that?
trying to communicate with
Yeah.
the aliens. I'm okay.
Yeah. So the question is, do you want to find them first, or do you want to? By the way, this is a very important question. Please, don't answer yet. Let me finish my question. Do you want us to find them first, or do you want them to find us first?
I
By
don't
the
have
way,
any
whichever
thoughts
one you
on
go
this.
for.
for
No,
for
we
me.
have to pick one.
No, do you know my take on that your question? For me, what is with the what is so important about that? I don't think
So if we find them first, right? That means if we find them first, that
Mhm.
means we are more technologically advanced, and in that sense,
Oh, we are
we
just
have
bored.
we have the advantage.
It might
No, no,
also
no, we
just
have
be
the
we are just
advantage.
bored, and they are
It
happy
doesn't
where
matter
they
whether
are,
wait,
we
so
are
they're not
bored.
wait,
looking for
wait,
anybody.
wait, wait, Ayo. Okay, we are more technology yeah, we are more technologically advanced, right? But
Yes.
then somebody will bring them, but they are a more evasive
No,
species,
no,
or
no,
they are
no,
a
no. You don't
stronger species,
understand.
or they are you
You
get
don't understand.
like
It
they,
doesn't
they may
matter.
not
No
care
matter how.
they may not like the whole 100 men facing one gorilla, whatever. We are more
Yes.
technologically advanced than this gorilla.
Okay.
But the
You
gorilla is
guys are.
going to, at least we know it's going to tear the first 10 people. So why
It
are we
doesn't
trying to
matter.
get aliens? Let's leave
You
them
guys have watched
alone.
Avatar, right? You guys have watched Avatar, right? The reason why I
Hmm.
mentioned this is,
Yes.
if we find them first, it's exactly going to happen like Avatar.
Which is
That's
we are
what's
going
going
to
to happen. We're
destroy
going to
their
take
planet.
advantage of them. Exactly. We're going to take advantage of them. That's what's going to happen.
Ayo,
You guys know that.
Ayo,
Human
please.
greed knows no boundaries.
This podcast has not grown at all. Already, you've made us people who are going to destroy other people's lands, who are going to take over whatever it is that they own. Biko, give this podcast a chance.
But that's what's going to happen, man.
anyway,
Like, on a
guys,
serious
like
note. By the way, if they do find us first, also, now it comes down to, we are their mercy. It's a question of, are they nice, or are
Do you
they,
know what? The way the world is going right now, if aliens showed up, I would just be like, oh, okay. Like literally. Because
next,
that's
what's
By the way,
next?
if they do show up first, I
exactly
do
like
want them
what's
to go to
next?
America first. I don't want them to go to America first. I just feel like, Trump can talk them down with some tariffs. Anyways,
Anyway, guys. I know you've listened to us and all, but like partly okay. Mostly this podcast is for us. Partly it's for you. So tell us your first experience with technology. Um,
your favorite
First
experience
time
so far, your
your
worst
yeah
experience so far.
your best your most favorite app, and maybe the app you can't do without, right? Because
Yeah.
they may not necessarily be the same thing. Just engage with us, like, subscribe. I was supposed to do this, but it's fine. I'll do
And
it.
share with your friends.
Share with your friends. Let us also know,
And
like,
family members.